I'm not scared of you. She
Yeah,
liked to test me, but that's okay. I got my shoulders abroad. So
yeah,
Absolutely.
Dr. J, you missed it. We had it out, but we do it all in sisterly love. I love Shirley from the heart. I don't know what I would do without her sometime. She is my bestie. What can I say? Shirley's my girl, no matter what.
That's what makes friendships and relationships so special is those that know what it is to be not only in the trenches with you, who knows what it is. It's not how many times a man or a woman falls down, but it's how they rise up. And that's the beautiful part of it. And that's what gives so much life and so much validity to the relationship and friendship. And when you can look around you and see people who started with you, who understands the fact of your struggles and your victories, now you got something special.
yes, yes. And that doesn't come every day, because some people have a season in your life, and then some have a reason, and then some a lifetime. And so,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
yes.
When we find that intersection, I call it the intersectionality of life, that, we all entered each other's life at different places, different stages. I don't know what
Mhm.
chapter I may have entered your life, but whatever chapter it was, I have a responsibility to write the sentence, write the words that needs to happen on my watch. And that may end up being not only one chapter, but chapters. But in that time, let's maximize our presence in one another's life. And those are the things that we can say we build memories on.
Yes.
Indeed. Well, Shirley, you have an anniversary coming up, and I wanted you to share with the audience more about who you are and the journey that brought you to this particular time. And like I said, this is Women Empowerment Month, and this is the last show dealing with that. And I said I had to end it with you. So thank you so much for tuning in and joining us today to share your incredible, extraordinary, powerful story.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And oh, my story, my story, my story. My story is never ending. Um, but I'm celebrating 25 years with my nonprofit, Against All Odds.
Wow.
And I'm still pinching myself to know that it's been 25 years, and trying to say, how did I get here? How did I get here? Where did I start from? And my life started this journey when back in 1999, after two bouts of breast cancer. So going through breast cancer twice, and being in a city where there wasn't support groups with women that looked like me. And so I had a friend say to me, well, do something about it. I didn't do anything right away, because I was like, so far, I'm the only one that's coming. And then maybe here and there, someone else will come. But it took me 3 years after my last diagnosis to start Against All Odds. And I'm that person that I don't just start one thing. It seemed like I got to have two things going at once. So I started an entertainment company at the same time. One was to keep me happy, smiling for the trenches I was about to take on, going through with other women. And I needed a balance in my life. And entertainment has always been one. Being a two-time breast cancer survivor and having numerous health issues as a relation to the medication I had to take during that time, leaving me with congested heart failure. And then years later, ended up having to be in a hospital for 30 days, not knowing that all of it tied back to me and being diagnosed with breast cancer back to back, and coming down with lupus and being on life support. So my journey with health issues, I'm a walking medical testimony. I'm that person that the doctors said I was an enigma. They could not figure out what was wrong with me, and why am I still here? How am I walking? How am I doing certain things? But God had a different plan for me. And in my journey, doing Against All Odds, there's so many other women I've been able to help and direct them into, one, reconnecting with Christ, two, knowing your body and being able to understand that when your body speaks to you, listen, talk to your doctors. ask questions and keep asking until you get answers. So, being a survivor, not only of breast cancer, but domestic violence and life, period, life ups and downs, knowing that I had no choice but to keep going. I didn't think about quitting. That wasn't an option for me because I'm a person that grew up with 10 siblings.
Wow.
And being that I grew up with 10, but I had 12, 11 altogether, but I grew up in the household with 10 boys, as a matter of fact, and one sister.
Wow.
So you learn to fight at an early age. So fighting was something naturally I knew I had to do for my life. And I said, I've been a fighter all my life. And then when my mom died when I was 18 years old, I became the mother of 6 younger siblings. And because my father got killed 2 years later by a drunk driver. So you don't have time to think, oh, I don't want to do this. I got to do this. You only go through what God puts on you. And as I got older, I realized that what I went through back then, what gave me the ability to push through whatever I was going through as an adult. Because I didn't consider myself an adult at 18, not even at 20, because I knew I had to keep pushing forward. I had to keep fighting. And as a result of that, 25 years later with my nonprofit, I am a testimony to so many other people that no matter what it looks like, what it feels like, what the doctors may say, but know that if you're connected with Christ and that you have the ability to make choices and that you have the ability to fire a doctor if you don't like what they're saying or they're not listening to you. Not so much you don't like what they're saying, but they need to listen and hear you. But first of all, you need to know your body. You need to be able to listen because your body will talk to you and so will Christ. And some people are like, how do you know if Christ is talking to you? You'll know because it'll feel right.
Wow.
If it doesn't feel right, he'll make you uncomfortable. And then
I'm so glad you brought that up because what happens is a lot of individuals when they're going through physically in their bodies and they don't understand it, they become doctors themselves. They diagnose themselves and say, maybe it's this and maybe it's that. And they start doing things instead of seeking out. And then when they go to their doctors, then, their doctors, they only know what you tell them. Right. So a lot of times they withhold information. But what I liked about you was the resiliency you had to follow it through. You didn't just take one opinion. You went on to the next one and said, this doesn't feel right. This is not good. So, I'm so glad that you said, listen to your body, listen to your inner being, and stop being your own doctor, your own physician, because that's not what and who you are.
Right. It's really not. And stop going to the internet to be like Google being your doctor, because that's the new thing now.
Dr. Google, right.
Yeah, Dr. Google. Google said this. And I'm one that believe that doctors, that's a gift. It's, you can go to school, you can read, you can learn. But when you find a good doctor, it's a gift. They're not going by textbook. They're listening to you. And that's why you have to seek out one who's willing to listen and understand, and you're able to communicate with them. Because if you can't communicate with your doctor, why are you going? What are you looking for? What do you really want? And I'm not one that believes in, take a pill, it'll work. No, I want to know what's wrong. How did I get here? What caused it? And what are my alternatives? What can I do? And what can I do for myself? What can I do that I can share with someone else? And you wouldn't believe that some of the most simplest things are ignored or they're not communicated to a patient. And one of the examples I've given a lot of women and men when they're going through cancer treatment, especially chemo, get a milkshake, vanilla milkshake. Whenever you have to take a chemo treatment, whenever you want to eat a good meal, Don't eat it hot. Let it get room temperature. Let it even get cooler. And you won't reject the food because the chemo burns the lining in your stomach. I know it goes through your vein and all of that, but people don't understand the fact that it does go into the linings of your
Mm.
stomach. And that's why people get to throw up so much from chemo. The doctors don't tell them that, but every patient that I've told that have come back to me and said, I can eat my meals. I don't throw up anymore. So I have me a milkshake every day now. So when I'm going to be taking chemo or whenever, that first 14 days or 7 days, if you're on a 14-day regimen, first 7 days, they do that. The next 7, they're good. If it's a 21-day, the first 14 days, have a milkshake. A lot of people don't tell you, and even the doctors don't. Try not to lose weight. Maintain your weight, even if you gain a few pounds. The chemo will react better and take out more of the bad cells than the good cells. So your weight does play a factor in it, in your treatment, how well you tolerate it, how well you can recover from chemo treatment. Because there's a recovery period every time you take a dose. And every time you take a dose, it beats your body down. And each time it's harder to come back. So you need to find ways and things to do that will help you, spring back faster and stronger. Because the stronger you are, the more you can tolerate it, the better you can fight your cancer because you need strength to fight it. So that's
Now,
why I
that's
tell
good.
people
That is
cancer
good.
is
And
not a
that's
death
why
sentence.
it's very important that grassroots foundations like Against All Odds, they tell you detailed information like this. Not only did you there, we have people that have nonprofits who haven't for cancer and haven't gone through or experienced. They're doing it third party or what they heard, but you've
Yes.
actually went through it. So that sets you apart from other foundations, and you being a grassroots foundation that is growing and blossoming. You not only bring awareness to cancer, but as a domestic violence survivor, and then the work you do in the community, the giveaways, the stuff. Talk about that and the things that Against All Odds does.
Well, Against All Odds is, we, do not only, we started for African American women breast cancer survivors. Then we expanded to the family. And then we expanded to the men because it affects everyone. And then when the pandemic hit, we saw a greater need because during the formative years, we would provide like clothing and things for, survivors. And then for men and everything. And they even help with their prescription medication or rides to the doctor. But when the pandemic hit, we saw a greater need in our community. And so what we do, the greater the need, the more we work. I know that's a lot to say, but we do. What we started was a backpack giveaway. When the kids had to stay home from school, and we said, okay, what are the parents going to do? They're not working. Nobody knows where income is going to come from. How are these kids going to be able to do their work from home when the parents and the stores and everything are closed? So we were able to order and get backpacks in and fill them. And we did a drive-through. All they had to do was drive up. They registered online. They drive up. The backpacks was ready. We was masked and shield. And we passed them when they gave their name from the car. They was already tagged. We grabbed that bunch. If it was 5 backpacks, 4 or 3, whatever that family had requested. And whatever grade level, we put them by grade levels too. And we would hand it over to the car and they roll off. So we went from there. I opened a free boutique in the mall, the Lansing Mall here in Michigan. I have a free boutique called Lillian's. It's named after my mother. And in that boutique, we provide clothing from newborn babies to adult men and women. Clothing, shoes, personal care items, household essentials. And we even have coats, boots, and gloves and things for the wintertime. And not only do we still do our backpack giveaway, This Saturday, I have my pre-Easter bazaar, which is what I'm going to give away Easter buckets for kids and everything, clothing, summer clothes for the whole family, shoes, all of those things will be given away this weekend. And then in December, I do my Christmas wish, where I give out toys, clothes, shoes, boots, everything, even gifts for adults. This past December, I gave out 4,600 toys,
Wow.
books, games, clothes, shoes, coat, and I have a partnership. I had a partnership with Walmart. Now I have one with Burlington, Cato's, Daily Thread, and Aeropostale. And so 85% of the items.
What's Air Pasta?
Aeropostale is a clothing store for young adults.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's kind of like Journeys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like Journeys. So I have a partnership with them and Cato's, like I said, in Burlington. And Williams Simona, which is WSI, which I get like mattresses, bedding, and rugs and things from them. And so I have to pick up donations from these different places, and I give it all away free.
So let me say this, Shirley, because it is just so appropriate that your organization is called Against All Odds. And by definition, against all odds means the fact that literally there are more things stacked against you than there are things stacked for you.
Yeah.
And yet still you have the audacity to name your foundation Against All Odds. And how much in percentage wise was that faith? And how much percentage wise was that, if you would, that which had been proven in your life? You've shown through your testimony that you didn't give up. You've shown in your testimony that you didn't fold. You've shown in your testimony the fact that, when you was told no, somehow or another, you believed that there was a yes that was coming. So inside of that, I mean, Against All Odds sound like to me, it did not just grow numerically, but it grew in terms of favor. It grew in terms of mission. It grew in terms of vision because of that which was proven. Because when it was said that you couldn't, you did. When it said that it can't, it did. So the name is so appropriate, and I think it speaks volumes to anyone that is listening who may feel like life is against them. The chips are down. Look like the enemy has come in like a flood. Look like, I have buzzard luck. I can't kill nothing. Nothing won't die. So, but how would you describe that? Because first of all, I love the name. Second of all, the name is one that I think is perpetual. It continues to grow.
Yes, it does. My life has been against the odds, and you really, when I look at my life, when my mom died, which was sudden, and both parents' death was sudden. They were not sick. My mom had an aneurysm, and the neighbors were like, "Oh, those kids, they got to split them up. They can't stay together." We did. Not one split. Not one went to another relative or anything. It was against the odds that we would be together. And my life has been against the odds that I'm still here because I fought the odds. When I told you about me being in the hospital and even on life support, both lungs collapsed and I flatlined twice. The doctor didn't even think I would walk out of there. But I said that, I truly believed that God said I was walking out. And when I was in there, I had a stroke and lost the vision in my right eye. And that was still against the odds that I would survive. But I did. And even when I opened up the boutique, I was like, Lord, you've given me this vision. And you know what my heart is to do this. And I named it after my mother. And to be the first free boutique in a mall setting, that everything is free. And I said, now how am I going to fill this? Not knowing that I was going to get a partnership with Walmart that lasted 18 months. Every week I had to pick up donation. My storage, I got 1,100 square foot of storage, and it's overflowing, just overflowing. And then when I wanted to do the Christmas giveaway, And I said, okay, I got some things, but I don't have enough. And I get a call from a Walmart rep from Chicago. And I'm like, okay, who are you? And he said, well, can you use some donations? And I had to get a 22-foot U-Haul truck and they loaded it to the top.
Wow.
So I was able to give away all these new clothing if they could take them. And this last Christmas wish, I helped 750 people. Not only do I help the underserved community of homeless people, but low income family. You could be working and still shop at my boutique. I give you a shopping experience. And what that experience is, you get a private shopping experience. You come in, if it's a husband and wife and children or whatever, they get to shop and they get to pick their outfits, what they want the kids do. If mom, is that okay? And we actually assist them like we're their personal shopper. That's the experience we give them, my volunteers. We walk around with them. This is, well, how many I get? Hey, 5 tops, 5 bottoms. What do you need? You need body wash? We got you. You need shampoo? We got you. Toothbrush, toothpaste. Yeah, dishwashing, detergent, tissue, paper towel. I even do blankets, comforters. What do you need? So they get to shop and we bag it up. And we thank them for allowing us to serve them. So, against all odds it's a part of me, and having faith and knowing that if God gave me that vision, he gave it to me, and then he will make sure that whatever I need, and he's been supplying it. I do not work with a government grant. It's a lot of, love, dedication, and believing in it and knowing that he's got
purpose.
Yes.
It's purpose, because when you're walking in purpose and you're in alignment with that assignment God has for you, then whatever you need will come. I know people, we've had guests on all week and all month, forgive me. And we've been talking about purpose and being resilient and how to be empowered and inspired. And how do you find what that is? Sometimes in the midst of adversity, breathes and births out your life purpose of what it is that you're supposed to do. And life is never about us. We be like, woe is me, and this is going on with me, and boo hoo hoo hoo. But it's not about you. God has people assigned to your hand that if you just woman up or man up, then it will all become clear. Just like, say, send me, I'll go. What is it I need to do? And that's what life is all about, empowering and inspiring one another. We can't make it by ourselves.
No.
It's this journey is never, 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 never about us alone. It's about community and empowering and inspiring. And that's what Against All Odds is doing. It's not only, dealing with cancer survivors, domestic violence survivors, but those that need a hand up, not a handout.
Right.
Because Against All Odds is giving you a hand up, because you ask for help, not because you're weak, but so you can stay strong.
Yes.
And 25 years of this foundation being in existence, and now, it's coming forth. You've carried this baby a long time, and now its birth is out here in the open, and it's busting through the seams, so much so that you're located in a mall in Michigan and able to distribute to the community, where they can come inside a building, inside a store, to get a hand up, not a handout.
Right. And then, it feels so good. And, because sometimes we get people coming here, they're nervous. They don't know what to expect. But when they leave, they thank me because I brought down their anxiety. Mm-hmm. And there's no one watching to see, oh, why she take that? I was going to get that. No, this is your time.
Wow.
They're going to get theirs. We got plenty. You pick what you need. And then they get some of their wants too. And then when we bring them back for our special event, and I just tell them, because I've never forget when I did the first one in the mall was like, you got a lot of people coming. I said, I have a saying that when you come to my event, you come to the happy zone. And I actually go out in the middle of the crowd, and I usually have the crowd control stance up and everything. And I tell them, I said, I need everyone to listen. Welcome to the happy zone. You don't have to push. You don't have to get angry with the person in front of you. We don't cut in line. There's plenty for everyone. And we load them up with stuff. And there's like, wow, how do you do that without security? I said, I just invite them to the happy zone because I do a wing festival too. There's more to me. I bought the Michigan Chicken Wing Festival to Michigan. Wow. Because they didn't have a wing festival. I bought it here 2015, and we still do it every Labor Day weekend.
Now, Shirley, I've got to say this. You're doing so much. But for people that may be just joining us now, or somebody who may catch us on a replay, who missed the first part of what you were saying, I think it's so important that they recognize you didn't just start doing all this stuff because, oh boy, I laid down, I had collard greens, and I had a dream. No, you have birthed this out of pain. You've birthed this out of all odds. And that is what's so important about this, because for so many people, when adversity hit them, they feel like the world is crumbling. And yet still, we know that adversity introduces a man or a woman to themselves. Right. And out of your pain, you have birthed something that is keep on giving. And I think this is a testament, because some people, when they go through pain, they go through bitterness, and they go through trials, they start feeling betrayed and they become bitter. They start feeling like the world has robbed them of something. So they turn angry. And yet it's still, for you continue to give. You continue to birth things. You continue. And the thing that makes it so unique is the fact you didn't seek to necessarily profit from it, but you gave to others that might not could have been able to obtain it. But greater than anything that I think that you've given tangible, I think that you've given hope. You've given hope. You've given encouragement to those who would hear your story, to those who may have said, I've gone through so much. I've lost this and I lost that. And yet it's still against all odds. Listen, that sounds like a song to me. Against all odds, I rose up. Against all odds, I stand with victory. And that is what you've done. And it is refreshing in this day and time to see an organization, a foundation that has turned 25 years old and doing this type of work, to remain true to its identity, to not be, if you would, derailed by the spirit of capitalism, to not find themselves going off grid because of what everybody else is doing. And I think that's really the testimony, because somebody listening to us right now, they're going through something. They feel helpless. There's somebody who could be caring for someone who feel like the fact they have no way of making it. What can I do? Their life is no good. And yet it's still, your story says, listen, cancer, okay, you came, you knocked, I'm still here. Lupus, you came, you knocked, I'm still here. I've dealt with losses. I've dealt with things. So your adversity has been part of what's built the capacity within you. And that's the message I think that so many will hear tonight, is because of the fact what you basically said is that against all odds, I'm still here. And against all odds, you can make it. You can rise up. And I'm inspired. I can hear this story 1,000 times. I get inspired all over again. And so for those that may be listening to it for the first time, I really want to encourage them, and I want to invite them to go to your website there, againstalloddfoundation.com, and listen. You may feel inspired to give. You may feel inspired to donate, to contribute. You may feel inspired to say, you know what? I am no longer going to feel sorry for myself. I'm going to get up. I'm going to look up, and I'm going to pull myself up. So I want to applaud you again for.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
We have some comments from Dara Mayhew, Kavia King, Dennis Thicklin. They're like, thumbs up, Miss Shirley, and Chicken Wing Festival. So
Yeah, right. Coming to a city near you.
You rose them up. Chicken Wing Festival. So yeah, so it's amazing. You have an incredible story, and the journey is yet continuing. This is just the beginning of what God is going to do. He got so much more before you, and the mere fact that He keeps expanding and broadening your territory, where you're able to give and be a force there in Lance, and and you know, all of Michigan, really, because you don't discriminate. If someone needs help, that they're in the Michigan area, they're able
Right.
to come and be supported by, you know, the Against All Odds Foundation. So those of you that want information and want to connect with her, I want you to go to the website againstalloddsfoundation.com, and she has her anniversary coming up and
Yes.
celebrating that, so you can find out information about that as well.
Oh yes.
What's the dates on that? Talk about that, Shirley.
Oh, that's what I want to say. The anniversary, I'm so excited about it. It's going to be May the 11th and 12th. We're doing the whole weekend. We got a weekend celebration coming up. It's going to be a gala. I usually do a luncheon every year called Women of Vision, but we're doing a gala this year for our 25th anniversary. We have a special guest speaker coming in, Nakia Gamby Turner, who is from Abbott Elementary. The show, she's the lunch age person. She's a 20-year cancer survivor, breast cancer survivor. So she's going to be there especially. I have a soloist, Kenneth Richardson. Oh my God, my brother Kenneth, beautiful singer. And I also have a jazz saxophonist, Dwayne Parham. And Dwayne has been around a long time, but our weekend does not end at the gala. The next day is Mother's Day, and we got a brunch that we're having. And at our brunch, we have Dwayne will be playing at that, and Dara Mayho is going to be our jazz soloist there. And we got so many. We had special appearances of people that's going to be there, special guest appearances, and a lot of our politicians and the mothers of the city of Lansing. Look out, because we're going to have so much fun at the brunch. We have the Smack Show is going to be there, just to name a few. And so we're going to be just really, really enjoying our weekend together, celebrating 25 years and also celebrating mothers. Every mother in Lansing should be there to enjoy it, because we got giveaways, we got silent auction. So we have a lot going on that weekend. So I'm excited about it. We're doing it at the Doubletree Hotel, which formerly used to be the Radisson. Got a complete renovation from lobby to every room, and even the ballroom that we're using. And they have an award-winning chef that's going to be there to do a special brunch for us. So I'm excited about that, meeting with him and all the things that he wants to put together from a special menu just for us. So it's exciting. We're going to have Lansing rocking that weekend. So if anyone out there is listening, you can go to eventbrite.com and get your tickets now, because we will sell out. So, don't miss out.
Okay, so they can't get it from your website. They have to go to Eventbrite.
Oh, no, they can go to my website too.
Okay.
To againstalloddsfoundation.com, and you can click on the gala ticket, or you can click on the brunch ticket, or get both. I would suggest to get both, because if you want to be a part of this, and we also have rooms reserved. We got a block of rooms. So just come and spend the whole weekend
at the Doubletree.
At the Doubletree Hotel, downtown Lansing.
And they give you that free chocolate chip cookie. I know. Just
come back, Dr. Come back. Bring it on back. Hoosah.
Jay, I love those cookies. And they're always warm.
They always are. That's part of the advertisement. But look, Shirley, listen, for those that are listening, this sounds like perhaps to someone, this could be a perfect Mother's Day gift.
Yes.
To someone's mother, to someone's sister. This sounds like a perfect Mother's Day gift. And I just so feel led to say to somebody that may be watching right now, maybe you know somebody who may be a recent a cancer, a person who's been diagnosed with cancer, someone who's been in a fight what a way to encourage them. I mean, to literally see, if you would, victory in motion, to see what it looks like against all odds that you can live. Because we know so often when you get a diagnosis such as cancer, whatever, people oftentimes start checking out right then at the very word.
Yes.
But here, out of all these years, you have survived. You have survived out of the grace of God. And the thing I've loved about you, Shirley, is this. You've not had a victim mentality. Woe is me.
No.
Don't y'all talk too hard to me. No, it's been just the opposite. It's been your faith and your confidence, and to the fact that you got Walmarts and companies that are coming to you saying, could you use some donation? We see what you're doing. We understand that you're not allowing your situation to stop you. Rather, your situation is propelling you. And I just think that this is such an incredible story.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And, one of the other things that you didn't share was that you're dealing with lupus too, when they found out that you had cancer in there and you had to go to the Mayo Clinic. It's just so much in your little body.
I mean,
and one of the things they said, people are going through so many different things, and you were just resilient in finding out the fight to still be here. You have 3 young boys, and you wanted to be here to protect them, to shield them, and to cultivate that male seed. And talk about that struggle with that, because they're women that not going through anything physically, but they're failing to put themselves in a position of cultivation.
Well, with me, and when I was diagnosed with lupus, let me give you the story behind that. They didn't know, I was so busy. You remember I said I started my entertainment company. I had sports and entertainment, and I was a sports agent, and I was invited to Greece. And I was supposed to have been catching a flight, but we had a snowstorm, so my flight was canceled. And that night I came down with a fever, and I thought it was just a cold, but it didn't get better. I got so sick. I ended up in the emergency room. And when I got in the emergency room, one lung was partially filled with fluid and the other one was half. So they wanted to vacuum my lungs, and that's how I ended up. I started hemorrhaging from my lungs. So they ended up doing emergency surgery, and both lungs collapsed. And they could not, and I was on life support. But I told them before I went in, this is the crazy thing about that time in the hospital. I was there at that hospital for 6 days. Every day was something different. But I moved to 4 different floors. And each floor I went to, I was witnessing to someone else, even to a housekeeper. And she said, you're here, you're the patient, you're sick. But she came and told me the day before I went in for my surgery that she had planned on going home and committing suicide. But I witnessed to her in the wee hours of the morning, and I prayed with her. And then I would get moved to another room, and I would end up praying for someone else. And they said, but you're a patient, you're sick. But God put it on me to pray. And I even told them when I went into surgery, I said, I'm walking out of here. And they looked at each other. I said, I am walking out of here. I'm going to be fine. And so when I flatlined, I actually saw them working on my body. And when I had told them before I went in, I said, leave a pad by my bedstand with the pen. So when I come out of surgery, I can write notes. And they said, well, honey, if you come out, you're going to be on a ventilator. You're not. And they said, you may not even come off. And I said, oh, I'm coming off. Just leave a pad there. I woke up and I started writing notes to people. And it was so funny that because I had flatline in there, that one doctor called my case and he left. But the rest of them in there decided to, use it one more time on me. And I woke up, my chest was so sore and I had bruised ribs and everything. I'm like, what happened? And they said, she's trying to talk. So They took it out and they said, we had to take these chest tubes out and everything. So by that Monday, when the doctor came in, it was that Friday. That Monday, I was on the unit with no oxygen or anything. And he had to come up and see me. He said, I had to see this for myself. I come in wondering, how did your family take it by you not making it out of surgery? And you don't even have oxygen on.
Wow.
And I told him, I said, but I know one thing, I got to get out of here. I said, because you guys don't know what you're doing. And so they was like, how are you going to get out of here? I said, no worry. I told my son, bring my laptop, bring my nail kit, because I wanted to do my nails, and bring me my cell phone. So I called the insurance company because my doctors had told me they had diagnosed me with 8 different diagnoses while I was in there. And I said, I need all of you guys to go to that conference room, sit down, look at the test you ran, look at the test she ran, and all of you guys come together with one diagnosis, but they couldn't. Wow. So I said, I got to get out of here. And there was a resident that came through and he was on his way to Boston. He said, I just came from Mayo. I said, what's Mayo? And he explained to me. Yeah. And he said, do you mind if I send some of your labs there? I said, no. He said, I want to send a culture there. But they diagnosed me with, its acronym is BOOP. It's only found in full-blown AIDS patient and newborn patient. I was neither. So Mayo wanted my case. So I said, now I got to get to Mayo. My insurance was like, no, we're not paying for Mayo. And that's what my doctor told me. I called the insurance company and got the president's office. If you don't approve this, it would no longer be my McLaren plan. It's going to be Shirley's plan. And they was like, this is the patient? I said, yes, it is. So next thing, my doctor come in the room and said, I just got a call from the insurance company. They approve your transfer. Good. And I said, you hear that? I said, get the papers together. She said, well, how are you going to get there? I already have a ride. I had called the Wings of Angels, which is private jets, pilots. They have to donate so much of their time with their jets. And that ding was an ambulance picking me up to take me to the airport to get on the jet.
Power of resiliency.
Wow.
So I'm a Mayo patient for life now. So I flew to Mayo and they diagnosed me with lupus and sent me back home. And then about 10 years ago now, I had to go back to Mayo, but I still go periodically because my left ventricle valve went down to 13.9%.
Wow.
And they was like, how are you walking around with no oxygen? And Dr. Karen at Mayo is my doctor, my heart doctor there. And he stayed after hours, 2 hours with me just to talk with me. And he said, you're not out of breath? You walked here from your hotel? He said, I'm so curious how your heart is operating. He said, because we gave you a stress test and your heart stopped, but you kept going. And I said, what? He said, you kept walking. And they said, stop the test. The heart just stopped.
When you finish that story, Shirley, talk about when we were out speaking in Connecticut and your heart was beating. Go ahead with that story, though. Go ahead.
Okay.
We're almost out of town, so
she knows some of this stuff. We've been through some stuff together. So they wanted to put me on a heart transplant list. And I told them, I said, I don't think I'm ready for a transplant. They said, you're at 13.9. When people's heart valve goes down to 14%, especially the left one, we are doing transplants. So I said, well, I can go through the motion. I'll see everyone you want me to see. The social worker, they wanted to do a kidney transplant too, because I have stage 3 kidney disease, but I'm not on dialysis. And I went to Henry Ford. I chose the transplant unit here in Michigan. And the doctor said, you're not feeling this, are you? I said, no, I'm not. He said, well, what we're going to do is we're going to continue to see you, but let's just wait before we put you on the actual list. Well, that was 10 years ago. That valve, they told me, which would never repair, is now at 56%.
My God.
And they can't even explain it.
Wow.
Like they say, won't he do it?
Won't he do it? We were in Connecticut speaking. I have a defibrillator. It was three of us there. Grace, Mercy, and Peace is our title. And I'm Peace.
I forgot what I am.
You're Grace. And
What?
Sid was Mercy. Because we used to say that sometimes she would get into a situation. We said, Lord have mercy.
Yeah, that's about right.
So, and I'm Peace. So we were speaking, and my defibrillator battery started giving me a warning. Val and I are sitting in the hotel room, and we heard this sound, and we thought it was a fire alarm. So we opened the doors like, but they didn't even call us and tell us an alarm was going off. Can you hear that? And we kept checking, and then I realized, oh, that's my chest. That's my defibrillator going. So, and I spoke, and we was in the pastor's office, Calhoun, and they heard the sound because I was in there, and they kind of panicked and said, what should we do? I said, oh, I got.
They were panicking. I was panicking. I was like, are you going to freeze like a robot?
No, but I had time to get back to Michigan, and because I stayed a couple days after you guys left.
You did. Yes.
Yeah, and she was like, "Should we be concerned?" I said, "No, I have 2 weeks." And they said, 2 weeks. You got 2 weeks, and you was talking about. I thought it's supposed to last 5 years, and you don't wore the battery out already. That's why I say we've been through some stuff together. When that alarm was going off, it really sounds like a fire alarm.
Yeah.
You came with your own music.
it was scary. You met she up there speaking. They had the microphone, and I'm looking like, I hope it don't get radiation or she get electrocuted holding the microphone.
Oh,
but I was fine. Everyone around me was, yes, they was panicking, but I'm like, I'm okay. I got 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And Val's like, what's going to happen in 2 weeks? What if the 2 weeks don't last?
Yeah, I was like, is she going to be done in 2 weeks? Oh yeah, what we don't know, but it has been an incredible journey. We went through many valleys together.
Yes.
And God has been faithful and kept us through it all. You met Dwayne, I met Alex, we married them, and God has been good. She dumped me after she got married, Jay.
Oh, that's a real story.
But anyway.
Well, she got married first. So who dumped who?
She dumped me. She was like, gone. She's like, gone with Alex. But we could pick up the phone and talk like we haven't missed a beat. And, I love her. She's my sister. And, I wish you so much more. And to be that gift to the world. You're a powerful woman of God. And I thank God for meeting you and the journey that we've been on. And your 25th anniversary Mother's Day weekend Against All Odds Foundation is going to be live. It's going to be lit there in Michigan. So
I wish you guys could come. That would be. Now Val has been there and spoke for me before. So it's Jay, but I wish you could come. I really do.
I have an obligation on that day, but let me say something. I had the opportunity to be in Lansing, I think about 4 years ago, and I enjoyed myself there. But I'm telling you, I'm going to make it one of these days, and I'm going to catch. When is the Chicken Wing Festival again? No, we're going to get there.
Yeah, I see people that are chiming in talking about Wang. It's a Wang. Right.
Yeah, coming to a city near you, Chicken Wing Festival. Right.
I mean, it's so much fun, Jay. It is so much fun to see so many happy faces, and to see so many people walking around eating chicken. And I have a live stage, I have pro wrestling, I have a kids zone, I have wing eating contests. So and the best wing vendors. And speaking of that, my son Aldred opened up his restaurant a week ago. And
Oh,
so,
wow.
yeah,
Congratulations.
so he's got a soul food restaurant. So I have been super busy. Yeah, we
Wow.
had the grand opening and everything, and they have sold out every day. They've been open since they've been open.
That is awesome.
Powerful.
Yes.
We're almost out of time, Shirley. You know, you take a whole week to deal with you. You have story after story, and
Yes.
each one is powerful and inspiring. What would you like to leave with the audience today?
I just want people to understand that everyone has a purpose, and God created us to help each other. It's not about a me thing. And if you don't know your purpose, you do have a passion. And whatever your passion is, keep walking it and it'll lead you to your purpose. And then you will know it's your purpose because it doesn't bother you. It's something
Right.
you enjoy doing because God created each person. He gave each person their own dream and their own vision. But you got to stop listening to the noise. Close the noise out and focus and feel it internally inside of you. And when you get that purpose, it's such a relief. It's such a joy to walk in it and to, it's not about the money or anything like that. Your
Yes,
purpose is about what you're supposed to do and why you're here.
absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Shirley. I appreciate you coming on and being a part of Hot Topics from the Soul. We started with you.
Yes, we did.
So, it has been a powerful legacy that we're leaving and will continue to leave as we empower and inspire individuals globally. I mean, I was just so shocked that, folks in Japan love the show and uh, England. I was like, wow, we got people all over. Dublin. I was like, wow. Of course, Africa, South Africa, we get, but folks in the U.S. But this is a global platform, and I'm so pleased that we started it together.
Yes, we did.
It's been an incredible journey. This is ministry to me. We're reaching hearts and empowering lives. That's what it's all about for me, and I'm so glad that you were a part of the journey. And please give my dear friend Dwayne my love and let him know I have his back.
Oh, you know what? She would have to power out now like that. See, now you see why we duke it out. That's okay. My brother Alex he know what time it is.
And please visit the website www.againstaloddsfoundation.com.
Yes.
Againstalloddsfoundation.com. Thank you so much. Dr. J.
Listen, this has been an incredible show, and Shirley, it has been so awesome, and it's great when people can see someone who lives out a creed. Your life sounds like that. The fact you said what matters compared to that which lies within you.
Yes.
It's so real. Thank
you so much. Thank you, Jay. Love you guys.
Okay.
Love you.
Love you. And don't forget to tune in to our YouTube channel, Hot Topics from the Soul. Please make sure you subscribe to our YouTube, Hot Topics from the Soul.